Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to Synchronicity Web TV. I am your host, Nadiya Shah, and this is your moment of synchronicity. Well, I'm so excited to be here with you today and to celebrate with you, Helene from Heart House Astrology. Now, Helene is somebody who's taught at Synchronicity University before, so you've probably gotten familiar with her as well. But really, I think about how her astrology is called Heart House Astrology, and she's like so perfectly described by that phrase because she brings so much heart to how she understands the sky and how she practices astrology as well. I had the privilege of meeting Helene when I was in New York, like at the very beginning of 2020. And it was that love and that heart that she brought that really made her stand out. So I'm so glad that she's coming back to Synchronicity University, this time as part of the September 2022 speaker series. And you are going to get to learn from some of the most brilliant astrologers alive today, including Helene. And if you sign up before the end of August 2022, you can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class. Helene is going to be teaching on Uranus, one of my very favorite topics. Welcome, Helene. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Nadiya. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be back at Synchronicity University and teaching for you. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You know, I think that you're just so loving and so brilliant. So I'm so glad that you agreed to come back too, which is a lot of fun. But I know that you're going to be teaching on Uranus. And this is one of my personal favorite topics because I am an Aquarius sun. And so, of course, Uranus is my modern ruling planet. But also, I wanted to tell you right now, I have Uranus stationing on my south node, like literally slowing down station exact on my south node. I've been watching this for years. Like for years, I've been like, oh boy, 2022, Uranus is going to station on my south node. And now here I am. So what do you think about Uranus on the south node? Let me be completely selfish here for a moment. Uranus on the south node.
First of all, this is such an amazing, triple conjunction with Mars and Uranus together and the North Node and on your South Node, right? I feel like, this is like a clearing of your karmic past, a clearing of patterns. I don't know exactly how your beliefs are, but patterns that either you come through this lifetime with or you carry from other lifetimes, like coming to just be just to disintegrate and clear so that you could step in to this awakened state of Uranus, right? That what Uranus brings us. What house is it in?
It's in the 11th house. Yeah. Okay. And so natally, I have Uranus in the 5th. It was literally, I can tell you this between friends and everyone on YouTube. And so it was about a year and a half ago with my Uranus opposition that I ended a 7-year relationship, And so now it's like, wow, now Uranus is moving on the south node. And like you just mentioned, and I hadn't picked up on that, this is why it's so valuable for astrologers to have an astrologer as well, because Mars is there right now as well, right? That whole triple conjunction of the North Node, Uranus, and Mars is happening on my South Node. So I can feel a lot shifting for me. Like personally, for the very first time coming up in September, I'm going to take a month off. I've been a full-time astrologer for 16 years, and I'm literally doing everything I can now in August so that September, I can literally not be online, completely take a month off, be at a retreat in Costa Rica. And I cannot wait. I'm just so ready for this. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And you deserve that 5th house, like opposition, like having fun, doing something joyful for yourself. And now when you say that, I feel like, it's probably even ending to some extent a way of romantic relationships and how romantic relationships play out so that, and giving yourself that moment of just cleansing and being just by yourself and enjoying that. I feel like it's just such a gift so that you can step into this new awakened state of relating and having partnership and relationships, romantic relationships, with this conjunction to your South Node, right? Like it's like this clearing for this new beginning there. That's kind of exciting. I wonder how that's going to play out for you.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned relationships, because actually now that I'm also realizing that configuration is trine my descendant, sextile my ascendant. So it should be really interesting to see the new ways in which I understand what has been, but also which way I'm going. But I love how you said clearing. I think that really is the key word. So let me ask you, Uranus transits, because I know that's what your talk is going to be on. Are you going through any Uranus transits right about now, Helene?
Oh, I sure am. So right now, Uranus is squaring my ascendant in Aquarius. It's my 17 degrees is my ascendant. So that triple conjunction is in my third house, Placidus, if you use full sign, fourth. Scoring my ascendant. I did find out I may have to move. And I am also dealing with becoming a mom overnight of 2 children, of my sister's children. So unexpected, your day-to-day life, trying to get things done. But, it feels right. It feels right.
Wow, I love that you put it that way. It feels right. I think that is key. Like with Uranus, I think we know that even if something is uncomfortable or if it's a surprise, it's like karmically we're ready for it. We're ready for this shift. We're ready for this leap. And I think about with Uranus, how the discovery of Uranus represented a massive leap of consciousness for humanity in all kinds of ways, a leap in our understanding of ourselves as individual, of our rights, of equality, but also intellectually and of technology. And so, yeah, when you have transits to your chart, that would leap you forward, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that bring a shift of consciousness as well?
Absolutely. I actually had Uranus in opposition to my stellium over the past few years. So, opposing my Mars in Libra, my Venus in Libra, my Sun in Libra, and my Mercury in Scorpio, like it's early Scorpio, but I had that opposition well. So I've had a lot of Uranus transits, and I have to say the most life-changing transit I have had in my lifetime is Uranus opposing my Venus. And so when that happened, it was 5 years ago in May. And I was like, what's going to happen with my love life? Meet someone who's really not going to commit, because I was single at the time and dating, doing online dating. And my niece was born the day Uranus opposed my Venus. And it was, my heart exploded. I became, I raised her for several years, and she's a very special bond to me, but it was like the love of my life, like the unexpected heart bursting open love of my life that I had never experienced love like that before. So of course I was like, what am I doing? I'm becoming a mother overnight. And it was definitely, I was like, oh, I was just talking about, I lived in Hawaii. I lived in San Francisco. I was loving to travel, Sagittarius North Node. I was like, I like not having kids. I travel. It's fun. I do whatever, I love that. And then it's like the universe had a different plan that, I would also step into a motherly role. Of course, I do have Saturn in Cancer. Which, ultimately wasn't for me having a baby, but taking some responsibility for family. And, there has been, because obviously we have that dynamic in our synastry, that there's this back and forth thing, but really the love. And it's so funny. I'm going to really share now. I was having a conversation with my best friend last night, And we were talking about me going back into the dating scene because it's been several years with COVID and everything. And she said to me, she's like, you have changed since your niece was born. And you are not the same person that you were. And you are not the same when it comes to love and relationships and the men in your life and how you are since then. And she was right. And it was because of Uranus. Like Uranus changed my heart. It changed the way I will forever show up in relationships. My heart has grown, my soul has grown through that transit. As crazy and life-changing and unpredictable how everything has been, it's been really good. It was good for me. It was good for me and my growth and my awakening to my journey of love. So I say embrace those Uranus transits. Now my sun is conjunct Uranus as well in my natal chart. So that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. So that's already an energy that you identify with so strongly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a couple of things as you were sharing. I remember like back when your niece first came into your life, and I remember that's how long we've been connected online, and how you really helped me to understand that love of a mom so differently, because I remember how the mom and you woke up with this love that you felt for your niece. And it really, I think that DNA or being pregnant, like physically pregnant, it's such a very tiny little part of what it means to be a mom, what it means to have that love. And in many ways, it's so small compared to what the heart feels and what the soul feels in particular. And it really made me realize that you absolutely can have a soul mate, soul bond with a child, regardless of DNA or the complexity of the DNA there. It's almost irrelevant to the soul bond that we feel. And so many people I've read over the years, and I've had the chance to read for people who've adopted children or who've been adopted as well. And they talk about that soul connection that they've had within the family, and that DNA, yeah, it can feel almost irrelevant too when the soul knows. It's a very powerful thing. So I remember you bringing that realization to me at the time. But I would also add, as you were sharing, I was thinking about, well, Uranus, first of all, is the chart ruler, right?
Yes.
Is the modern chart ruler. So of course, whenever you have a Uranus transit, anybody who has an Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun is going to feel that move of Uranus that much more personally. It's going to mean that much more. Now you have a conjunction of Uranus to your sun in your chart. I have a square, an exact square of Uranus to my sun. And so, yeah, I identify with that energy so strongly. Uranus transits really, I think in general, they change a life. But then if you add to it that layer of Aquarius rising, or Aquarius sun, or your sun or moon,
I
or
have my moon in
ascendant,
Aquarius as well.
there you go, right? So in aspect to that, in aspect to Uranus, like all of these things add layers to how connected you feel and how much those Uranus transits are going to speak to you.
Yeah. And, if you're a person so I think when you have, a strong Aquarian energy, strong Uranus energy, it feels different. Like it really feels like it's like a lens that you work with already. Now, if you don't have strong Uranus and maybe you're an earth sign or a fixed sign, or, you just don't like change as much, that, because I feel like Uranus transits can get a bad rep, and it's not, I don't feel that way at all. But I also really am a person that embraces change and almost instigates it. My Sun Uranus conjunction, so if you're someone who likes things status quo and needs to feel in control all the time of things, like, well, yeah, it's going to be a little harder. So what I say is really go into your heart and really know that this is for you. This is for you. And it really is, and really feel that in and surrender to the process.
Wow, that's so beautiful. The Uranus transits, regardless of how much you resist it, it is for you. It's not something like happening to you, or it's for you. And really, like Uranus is one of those planets that's so strongly associated with authenticity, right? Like really being the true you in this lifetime. It's
Yeah.
Jeff Wolf Green, right? One of our great living legends, Jeff Wolf Green said, Uranus is about moving away from who you've been conditioned to be in favor of who you've been created to be. And
Oh,
I
that's
think that's such
beautiful.
a perfect way to put it. Yeah. Even if you resist it, even if you've got a whole bunch of earth in in your chart or whatever. Yeah. It's who you've been created to be. That's really exciting to be able to move through chaos to embrace that more fully.
Beautifully said. Yeah. Yeah. And I think ultimately that's the gift of Uranus there, right? That's the gift. Um, it's such a clearing and awakening and a soul involvement, the whole journey. But it's beautiful. It is a beautiful journey. There's beauty in it.
Well, look, I can say I'm in the midst of it, but I kind of feel like I'm about to really embrace it because yeah, I'm like in the midst, but also it's about to get even more because Uranus is stationing right now on
Yeah.
my south node. So I'm really looking forward to the journey because so far Uranus has brought really good things. I remember I was in my relationship. I love this person. We had a dog child, right?
I know.
Biggie. I know. And I love that dog so much. And I love Biggie so much. It was so hard to leave. But Uranus made it so clear that no, this is happening and this has got to happen and this has got to happen now. And it was very difficult. And yet, I think about how many incredible things have come about because I allowed that change. Or look, if I wasn't going to allow it, it just wasn't going to work, right? With
Yeah.
Uranus, you allow it or not, it doesn't matter. It's like the soul is ready for it. And I was able to recognize the symbol as an astrologer and able to embrace it. And I mean, I just think about all the growth in so many ways. In every way, my life is better over the last year and a half. And so my hope is this current transit that I'm in, and the retreat that I'm about to go on, that it also brings with it that next leap in my own journey that people can feel that other people out there that I serve with astrology and in all kinds of ways can feel as well. So thank you for giving me this moment to reflect on that. Thank you for giving me these new insights into this transit I'm in the midst of.
Oh, you're my pleasure. Thank you for sharing with me and just connecting so authentically and intimately. And, I think the more we do that and allow us to be our authentic selves, it inspires others to do that as well. And that's the mission of Uranus to help us
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Right? Wow, that's a wonderful way to put it. Part of the mission of Uranus is to help others, like that freedom that we find can inspire others and help others as well. And I do want to make it clear, like, just because you're having a Uranus transit doesn't mean your marriage is going to end or whatever. Your journey is going to be uniquely your own. But what Uranus does promise is authenticity.
Absolutely. Yeah. And really it could shift it in positive ways, right? It could shift, like, if you've never said how you feel in your relationship, like, we withheld things, you might speak your truth a little more, and that is a good thing. You're letting your partner know where you're really at is creating a safe space and container for your partnership, so that is a way it can evolve your relationships,
Yeah,
right?
and just permission to be yourselves in a relationship, a deeper layer of acceptance. There's so much if you're in the right relationship for you, how Uranus can change things for the better. I mean, it's even more wonderful to contemplate as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Helene, I'm so looking forward to your class. I know that your class on Uranus, which is once again, you guys, a part of the September 2022 speaker series at Synchronicity University. You could learn more about Helene's talk and the other talks And you can sign up for as low as just $5 a class for a little while longer with Choose Your Tuition Rate, our world famous Choose Your Tuition Rate at synchronicityuniversity.com. So link is in the description below. You can learn more there. But I know that you, Helene, bring so much heart to the journey and to your astrology. And I've seen it over the years, which is why I'm so happy to have you back at Synchronicity University, because I know you're going to help us understand Uranus with that nuance and new insight that you brought even to this time that we spent together, to understand that element of clearing, to understand the heart involved in a Uranus transit. So I'm really looking forward to your talk.
I am so excited to speak to everyone, and please come. I'm so excited to share this information and to be part of this amazing group of speakers. It's, I feel very honored to be a part of it, and I'm really looking forward to it. I appreciate you so much, Nadiya. I'm just so excited to be part of this with you and everybody.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Helene. And thank you, everybody out there, for watching. And until we connect again, take care. Bye.
Bye.